What does wealth truly mean to you? Is it a pile of gold coins, a fleet of luxury cars, or perhaps a mansion overseeing a serene coastline? See, the concept of wealth extends far beyond the confines of monetary value, about understanding and utilizing resources to your advantage. Introduce two contrasting perspectives to this narrative: the rich dad and the poor dad. Poor dad, a believer in traditional education and secure employment, views wealth as a steady paycheck. Rich dad, on the other hand, thinks outside the box, sees wealth as the freedom to take calculated risks and seize opportunities, not just about how much money you have in the bank, but also about how you choose to use it. Question isn't only about becoming wealthy, it's about embracing a mindset that allows for growth and prosperity. Delve into the different perspectives of the rich dad and the poor dad. In a world where wealth is often equated with luxury and extravagance, how does the poor dad stand apart? He is a steadfast champion of traditional education and its inherent values. Do you think that a good education guarantees financial security? Our protagonist views wealth through a lens passed down through the ages, a perspective firmly rooted in the age-old belief that a good education is the passport to a bountiful life. He believes that the hallowed halls hold the keys to the kingdom of financial stability. Is an academic degree a magical key that unlocks the door to a steady job and a life of comfort and security? His philosophy is simple and straightforward, yet deeply rooted in the ethos of hard work and discipline. Work diligently in school, land a secure job, and save every penny possible. Have you ever doubted this system, or is your faith in it as unwavering as his? As solid as an old oak tree standing tall against the winds of change? The poor dad is a perfect example of the adage, hard work pays off. He battles tirelessly every day, working long hours to make each penny count. Have you ever felt trapped in the comfort of a secure paycheck? He views risk as a formidable adversary best kept at arm's length, a potential threat to his quest for financial security. Would you rather cherish the predictability of a stable paycheck? Or do you embrace the realm of investments and entrepreneurship fraught with vagaries? The poor dad's ethos is a testament to the conservative virtues of caution and prudence over the unpredictability of investments or entrepreneurship. Is your wealth gauged by the size of your assets, or by the stability of your employment and the substantiality of your savings? In the final analysis for the poor dad, security above all else is the true measure of wealth. You agree with his measure of wealth? Picture this: a world that is not shackled by the boundaries of a mere paycheck. Instead, it is a world thriving with unlimited avenues to generate wealth. That's the world through the eyes of the rich dad, a staunch believer in financial literacy and entrepreneurship. Unlike the typical parent, the rich dad doesn't advocate the traditional tread of academics and employment. Rather, he underscores the paramount significance of comprehending the language of money. He perceives wealth not as a limited resource, but an infinite sea of opportunities ready for the plucking. For him, decoding the mechanics of money is critical. It's like discerning between assets and liabilities, embracing the magnitude of investing and acknowledging the potential of passive income. This understanding, he firmly contends, is the golden key to authentic affluence. The rich dad cultivates the spirit of enterprise. He has faith in the potency of ideas and their capacity to transform into prosperous ventures. He mentors his offspring not to retreat from failure, but to embrace it, to extract wisdom from it, because every obstacle, he professes, is a stepping stone towards a triumphant comeback. He's a daring risk-taker, but far from a careless gambler. He recognizes the inherent risks in every investment, yet he is consciously aware that these risks can be measured, assessed, and managed. His approach to opportunities is not rash, but deliberate. He observes, he probes, he strategizes. He is a maestro, a grand master in the complex game of wealth. For the rich dad, the concept isn't about laboring for money, it's about directing money to labor for you. He doesn't barter his time for dollars. Instead, he invests in assets that bear dollars over time. He firmly upholds that money, akin to a loyal employee, should be working tirelessly even when you're at ease. He is well versed in the distinction between being rich and being wealthy. Being rich is about hoarding money, but being wealthy is about amassing time. Time to spend with family, time to pursue aspirations, time to live life according to your own rules. In the perspective of the rich dad, real wealth lies in the liberty that financial independence bestows. The teachings of the rich dad and the poor dad paint two distinctly different pictures. Pictures. Let's take our time and examine these contrasts closely. Picture the poor dad, shaped by traditional education and a mindset focused on security. His philosophy is rooted in the age-old blueprint for success. This involves acquiring a comprehensive education, securing a reliable, dedicating oneself to working hard, and as a result, achieving financial stability. Do you agree with the poor dad's emphasis on job security? It's a well-worn path, a narrative familiar to many of us, down from our grandparents, even our parents. It's a journey characterized by comfort, predictability, but also heavy reliance on earning a fixed monthly income. Now consider the rich dad. He challenges this convention. His teachings do not revolve around job security, rather he underscores the importance of financial independence. What's your take on the rich dad's focus on financial independence? He perceives employment as measure, not a permanent solution. His teachings champion the mastery of financial education, the necessity of understanding the mechanics of money, having the skill to make serve you. His focus isn't so much on the earnings, but on the savings and how efficiently your money is working for you. Could you envision yourself championing the rich dad's teachings? Let's now turn our attention towards their views on money. The poor dad views it as a limited resource to be earned, saved, and spent with caution. The rich dad, in contrast, has a different perspective on money. He views it as an instrument, a partner in the journey towards wealth. Which perspective resonates with you more? The thought of losing money doesn't intimidate him. He understands that taking calculated risks is a vital part of achieving financial independence. Are you comfortable with taking calculated financial risks? He knows that making money sometimes entails spending money wisely, though, by investing in assets, not liabilities. Would you consider investing in assets liabilities? Our focus now shifts to their respective approaches to risk. The poor dad shies from risk. The rich dad, conversely, is willing to embrace risk. Which approach do you identify with more? He comprehends biggest risk is not taking any risk at all. Do you agree? Ultimately, what sets them apart is not their intentions, but their understanding approach towards wealth. The poor dad desires safety, security, comfort for his child. The rich dad wishes for his child to be financially independent and free. Both dads have their children's best interests at heart, but their methods to realize this are miles apart. The difference in their teachings lies not in their intentions, but in their understanding and approach to wealth. Could you lean more towards one than the other? Let's delve into the contrasting ideologies of two well-known financial philosophies, those represented by the rich dad and the poor dad. Our journey thus far has exposed two vastly divergent viewpoints on financial prosperity and wealth generation. We commence with the ideology of the poor dad, a paragon of traditional wisdom emphasizing job security and savings. His philosophy is deeply ingrained in the educational system, promoting hard work and dedication to a steady job as the key to financial sturdiness. His strategy is simple: obtain a good education, secure a steady job, save religiously, and retire comfortably. However, this seemingly reassuring viewpoint often builds barriers against exponential financial growth. It glorifies job security, diminishing the allure of financial liberty and limiting any room for risk-taking, entrepreneurship, or wealth creation. Though well-intentioned, it may inadvertently lead you down a path hemmed in by financial limitations and missed opportunities. Now, let's transition to the rich dad, who ardently supports financial education and investment as the highway to wealth. He emphasizes the necessity to decipher the language of money and utilize it for personal profit. His teachings stress the importance of financial literacy, entrepreneurship, and investment. The rich dad believes the money you earn is less crucial than how much you retain and for how long you can sustain it. This view champions financial independence and wealth multiplication, underlining the importance of diversifying income streams and ensuring that money works for you instead of you tirelessly pursuing it. In summary, the teachings of the poor dad represent a floating existence in the financial ocean, whereas the rich dad's lessons are about soaring above the clouds of financial prosperity. The former focuses on risk avoidance and stability, while the latter savors risk-taking and wealth multiplication. This discussion's essence is not to draw lines, but to enlighten you that understanding these polarities is yours to financial literacy and ultimately your elevator to wealth. Hold on tight, it's an exhilarating ride to the top.